Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the week. This is going to be an amazing week. As we start off this week, I want to just talk to you guys about one of the core values that we live each and every day as we work, and that is being proactive. Proactive. Proactive means we happen to life instead of sitting around and letting life happen to us. Being proactive means we're analyzing what the horizon looks like, what the environment looks like, and we're going out and we're doing stuff so that we can eliminate problems that arise, or as problems start to arise, we're already analyzing those and proactively happening to them so that we don't become victims, so that we're not sitting back and saying, oh, well, I didn't see that one coming, like Gomer Pyle. I know you guys don't know what Gomer Pyle is, but Jeff probably will remember because Jeff is a little bit more in that generation like I am. Gomer Pyle is just you're gonna have to look it up. Maybe I'll see if I can send a video, some kind of snippet on YouTube after this. Gomer Pyle, what whale? Shazam is one of his is one of his phrases. But anyways, so we happen to life instead of life happen to us. I was I was amazed. I was back in Texas sometime, I don't remember when, and no, it was before I was in the Air Force, and I came back to Texas for a visit, and then I had gone back, and there was a guy that I knew before I got into the Air Force, and he worked in a car mechanic shop, and I met him at the gas station. He was now at that point working in a gas station, and he was sitting in this tiny little cubicle outside, okay, for those in America, like 6 feet by 10 feet cubicle building, that controls the gas pumps. Or in here, for you guys in Europe, it's like 2 meters by 2 meters by 3 meters. And he was sitting there, and I was like, hey man, how you doing? It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a while. And he's like, well, just sit here watching the world go by, watching life pass me by. And I was like, man, what a miserable existence. So we are not like that. We happen to life. We don't watch life pass us by. We say, here's life. We're participating in this journey. How can we capitalize on that and make it an incredible outcome, incredible future, an incredible, blessed, and fruitful and impactful future? How can we do that? By the work that we do. We do that each and every day. So one of the ways we do that is by being proactive. So as we work through challenges, there is one kind of mechanism that I always have in front of me. I have these little notes sometimes that I put at the front of my desk, and that I have setting around in my office. There's one, here's another one, here's another one. And then, I've got a couple of them around here to remind me of certain things when we're working through different challenges. And it's just to kind of help me to set my mind. Because somebody said one of the greatest frontiers left in the world is the human mind. Is what the human mind can do if you set it on something. And so I have some physical kind of mechanisms in place when I'm reading a good book, or when I've got gleaning a really good principle out of something. I write it down. And one of those things from the book Good to Great, there's a ton of them in there, like it's chock full of them. But a couple things that really stood out to me, I've taken and written down. One was a big impact on my life, personally and in business-wise, was the Stockdale principle. The Stockdale principle, remember, address reality, maintain hope and faith that you will prevail in the end, but deal with the current reality. That's one, right? But there's another one, and I don't know that it has a name in particular, but it's more like a process. It's a set of constants that have to be present all the time in our business, in all the work that we do. And so you're going to meet some situation like this every single week, which is why I took and wrote it down. And I wanted to make sure that I had it in front of me, because Jim Collins has so many great... He took a bunch of businesses and he gleaned from all of those businesses all the things that were true about businesses that went like almost unavoidably from good to great. But they were definitely true for businesses that were great businesses. And this mechanism that he put in place, or that he talks about, I may have to go back through later and find out if there was actually a principle around this. But anyways, it talks about the process of resolving challenges that you face, or resolving situations that come up in your business, and some of the characteristics that are true around that process. And I want to share those with you this morning. And that starts with leading with questions, not answers. And so when I come to a situation now in our business, I try as often as possible to lead with questions. I lead with questions. How about what are we doing here? Or how did we get to that solution? What are the facts around this thing? What is the reality of this? How many people are needed on that? How long is it going to take to do that? What are the characteristics of solving this problem? And there's lots of questions now that you probably noticed me asking in different scenarios. You probably noticed me saying, just like, man, why is he asking so many questions around? But there's a reason, a method to the madness. And the first point around this process is lead with questions, not answers. And too many times as a leader in business, I want to lead with answers. And you feel like, actually, a lot of leaders feel like, especially CEOs of companies, you feel like you've got to come and bring solutions everywhere. And that's not the case. Truly great CEOs, they don't bring solutions. Their team, they lead their team to work to solutions through incredible question and answer sessions. And so the next one has a lot to do with the first one. And it says, engage in dialogue and debates, not coercion. Engage in dialogue and debates, not coercion. And this is key. If I come to the situation with a solution, I may be wrong. And there can be a good chance I'm wrong. Of course, we've got years of experience, and we've seen a lot of scenarios, and we've worked through a lot of challenges. But me just coming to any given situation with a solution, I understand over time that it's not always true that I'm right about it. So we engage in dialogue and debate. First, getting all of these questions, right? We answers all of these questions first, and then we engage in dialogue and debate, and we work through the process. Jordan Peterson said the process of thinking something through is engaging in a dialogue with you and somebody else. So the process of actually thinking really well is not simply me thinking thoughts in my head, because then you have nobody to bounce off your logic from to verify if it's correct. And so engaging in dialogue and debate, not coercion, gets us to a much healthier outcome. And so that's another one. So there's 4. So that's the first 2. And then conducting autopsies without blame. Digging deep into the details, getting those questions, have the dialogue around the issue, get an autopsy, microscopic on what the heck happened. Just like we're doing right now with Jeff's project, right? We're just working through that challenge. There was a big problem. We had you already know. I don't even have to explain to you. But it's a problem. And we're trying to figure out what the heck happened and getting through that. And so we're figuring out, we're getting really detailed on that and getting a solution there. So we're conducting an autopsy without blaming everyone. We're going to find, who didn't do what they were supposed to do and work through that. But the point isn't to find blame. It's to find the challenges that we face that cause us to trip up. Okay, so happening to life. And then just resolving it. And then the last thing is building red flag mechanisms. So building mechanisms in place in our process that say, okay, these things happened and we've got all the details on it. I mean, can you imagine this? This is leading with questions, not answers, engaging in dialogue and debates, not coercion, conducting autopsies without blame. All of this is like looking into the details and addressing reality at its core, at its microscopic level. And then, the very end, if you do all of that but don't do this, you do nothing. Build red flag mechanisms. How can we never let this happen again? Ever. In our history ever. And we've done this a lot of times in the past, and that's why a lot of the processes that you guys work in exist today. Some of them you might feel like, well, this is kind of redundant. But believe me, there's a reason behind the madness. And so this is us happening to life instead of letting life happen to us. And working in a company like that has an incredible advantage over the future, over the others in the marketplace. And so I just want to encourage you, that's the kind of company, that's the kind of team you're working with. Be proactive this week. Work with your team, encourage each other, and let's build those red flag mechanisms together as we work to prosper. Thanks, guys, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you this week.